Hi, I am so excited that you're joining me for today's session about financial aid for study abroad. My name is Sharon Beers. I work in both the Study Abroad office as well as the Office of Scholarships and Student Aid. And I've been here at UNC for almost 10 years now. And similar to you, I also had the amazing opportunity to study abroad during my spring semester. And it was just an absolutely life-changing and transformative experience. And I'm so excited that you'll get to have a similar experience for yourself. So today we're really going to talk about financial aid for study abroad for fall or spring semester long programs. So we'll go into a little bit of what that looks like. We'll talk about how to look and understand your study abroad program budget sheets, as well as cashier's account charges and a timeline for financial aid disbursement. And then finally, we'll take a few minutes and talk about refunds and budgeting. So my goal is that by the end of this session, you'll have most of your questions and concerns answered or addressed as far as the financial aid side of things and money side of things is concerned. And so that way, by the time you actually get abroad for your particular program, you won't have financial stressors lingering in the back of your head. So financial aid information, what's really terrific is that for your semester-long program, again, for the fall or spring semesters, typically the regular financial aid that you have been awarded for a UNC semester can be applied to your study abroad experience. So that's really wonderful if you've been awarded a lot of scholarships and grants. Typically, all of those can be applied to your study abroad expenses. There is one exception, and that is federal work study funding. So if you have that in your current financial aid package for your given semester abroad, that will be canceled. If you are a Carolina Covenant student, that will be replaced with additional grant dollars. And if you are not a Carolina Covenant student, that will be replaced by additional loan eligibility for you for that given semester abroad. For more expensive study abroad programs, the Office of Scholarships and Student Aid typically has additional loan eligibility to offer to you. And if you are participating in a less expensive program, typically your financial aid is reduced in order to correspond with the reduced charges or the reduced expenses of your less expensive study abroad program. For a UNC semester, just to give you an idea, foundationally, how you can compare. If you're an in-state student, a semester here at UNC is a little under $13,000 for the fall or for the spring. And if you're an out-of-state student, typically a UNC semester on campus is around $27,000. So you can use those figures as the baseline to then figure out if your study abroad program is more or less expensive and what you can anticipate in your financial aid package. When you look at your study abroad program sheet, hopefully most of you have seen this by now, but if not, no worries. You can navigate to the Study Abroad Office website and navigate to your specific study abroad program brochure page. And you can click on the tab that says costs and scholarships. That'll take you to the budget sheet. And you just want to make sure that you scroll to the appropriate budget, whether that's fall or spring semester, to really get an idea of specifically what your expenses look like. So every study abroad budget sheet is made up of two different parts. These are billable expenses and non-billable estimates. So on the two budget sheets pictured here, College Year in Athens, as well as King's College London Exchange, you'll see highlighted in green a section that says billable subtotal. It's also referred to as cashier billed expenses. These are going to be charges that you see on your UNC student account at the cashier's office. And then the second part of each budget sheet is referred to as the non-billable subtotal, or also as out-of-pocket estimates. And essentially, these are estimates that will be very real to you in order to study abroad, but they're not charged to your UNC student account. So for instance, the study abroad office knows that you'll need to purchase a plane ticket to get to your geographic region for your program. So that's something that's taken into consideration in your budget sheet. But again, that's not owed to the UNC cashier's office. You will pay whatever airline that you book through directly for that expense. Something else to pay attention to is budget notes. There are more additional specific information in the budget notes for each budget sheet. So I really encourage you to take a look at that because that can just have really helpful information when you're figuring out the different expenses and line items within your given budget. And then finally, I want to point out housing and meal expenses. So for some study abroad programs, for instance, this college year in Athens, housing and meals are included in the program costs. And you'll see that highlighted in pink. So that would be a billed charge to your UNC cashier's office student account. In this other budget for King's College, housing and meals are still estimated because they'll be very real to you, but you won't pay UNC for those directly. In this instance, you would pay King's College directly if you're staying on campus there, or if you've worked out an off-campus living arrangement, you would pay your landlord or whatever housing arrangement that you have made. So again, just some nuances that I want you to keep in mind as you look through these budget sheets. So as far as timeline goes for student account charges and your financial aid disbursement, first of all, if you're studying abroad in the fall semester, you can expect to see updates to your fall financial aid package throughout the month of June. So by early July, you will see what your updated study abroad fall financial aid package looks like. For the spring semester, you would see those updates typically throughout the month of November. In either instance, you will be notified by the Office of Scholarships and Student Aid. You'll get an email notification letting you know, hey, your study abroad budget is ready to review, and you can check that out in your Connect Carolina Student Center. For the fall semester, typically you will start to see charges in the month of July. And for the spring semester, you typically begin to see charges in the month of November or early December. Your financial aid itself will post to your student account when classes first start on campus at UNC. So for the fall semester, that's going to be around August 15th, 2022. And for the spring semester, your financial aid would post around January 9th of 2023. So again, that disbursement or that financial aid will post right around when UNC on-campus classes start, regardless of when your study abroad program starts. So something to keep in mind. All of your financial aid is first applied to that billable subtotal or your cashier billed expenses. And if there's anything left over, that would be generated as a refund to you, typically a few days later. That'll be directly deposited into whatever personal bank account you signed up with for the electronic refund process with the cashier's office. If you're not sure what personal bank account that was, you can ask the cashier's office and they will be happy to let you know. And you might be wondering, well, how do I know if I am going to get a refund, and how can I anticipate what that amount might look like? What you can do is you can add up all of your anticipated financial aid for your given semester abroad, and you can subtract out those cashier billed expenses or that billable subtotal on your study abroad office budget sheet. So if you're receiving more aid than what the billed charges are, you can anticipate a refund. And the difference would be the amount that you can anticipate receiving. And one thing to note about refunds is this money is intended to help you throughout your entire time abroad. So it is meant to last months because you'll be abroad for months. So just something to think about as you work through what your fall or spring budget might look like and how you intend to use that refund. We do have a really excellent presentation by a colleague and another student who studied abroad. It's called How to Ball Out on a Budget, and that will be super useful for you to learn some tips and tricks for budgeting and just some tips and tricks for travel in terms of keeping expenses a little bit lower. So hopefully all of this information has helped answer any questions or concerns you may have, but if not, you are welcome to reach out to me. My email address is fa_studyabroad@unc.edu. Feel free to send me an email and I will be happy to help however I can. Thanks so much for joining this session and have a great afternoon.